Listen in Love seeks to bring encouragement for life that's not just happier, but holier. Merging biblical truth with real psychological applications, join the conversation for honest thoughts, expert insights, and real-life stories for hope-centered truth. The information provided is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended as professional advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you are experiencing a crisis or need support, please contact a qualified expert or call emergency services in your area. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hello and welcome to Listen and Love. Today we have a very special guest coming. If you were there at our A Night to Sew gala, you would know that we've been teasing doing alumni interviews on our podcast for about 6 months now. And we are so excited to announce our first alumni interview. And this is very fitting because Annie was one of our first girls that came to the original opening of the Under His Wings home. Isn't that right, Annie?
Yes. Yeah, one of three. Yep.
One of three. And we're excited to get into her story and talk about how Under His Wings has helped her and where she is now, what's going on with her life. Annie is an incredible person. I had the honor and privilege of meeting her last summer at one of our alumni retreats, and I'm very thankful that she has decided to come on today and share her story. So Annie, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So I figured the best way to start would actually just be at the beginning. So how old were you when you came to Under His Wings, and how old are you now?
I was 15 when I came to Under His Wings back in June of 2013, and I am now 28. I just had my birthday last week.
Happy birthday. I know we talked a little bit about that earlier. But what, just briefly, or however much you're willing to share, what brought you to Under His Wings when you were 15?
Yeah, so at the time, my dad was just not in a position to be a healthy parent, and he didn't have the tools that he really needed to raise me. And my mom died when I was 8, so he was struggling with being a single parent for 2 daughters. And due to some financial concerns, we ended up losing our home. So my sister went to stay with a family member, and I went to Under His Wings.
Got you. When you were first dropped off at Under His Wings, what was that like?
Oh gosh, that was scary. It was overwhelming. I was angry and crying and mad, and I didn't want to be there. But I settled in pretty quickly.
What do you think helped you settle in really quickly?
I don't know. I guess I just kind of adapted quickly, and I realized like I'm going to be here a while. I probably need to make the best of it. And I also just trust people really quickly, which is not always a good thing. But I just got close with a lot of the board members, like Miss Angie Michael and Tracy Congoli. I just got pretty close with them really quickly, and that helped.
That's awesome. So your perception of Under His Wings changed over time. You were really nervous and scared when you were first dropped off. You did not want to be there, which is completely understandable. And then over time, as you trusted more people, you became more trusting, as you said, of the program and the people there. And it didn't take too long for you to do that, which is incredible. It's different for every girl, you know. But do you have any specific stories or anything about what particular made Under His Wings, what made you feel safe at Under His Wings?
I think just the love that they showed us. It was different than what I had experienced at home. My dad was not always in a good mood. He had a lot of anger issues, and he would take those out on me and my sister as kids. And so being in a situation where I'm not being yelled at or threatened was a relief. It took a lot of weight off my shoulders. I didn't have to walk around on eggshells, or I didn't have to be careful with what I said or did. You know, I could kind of be myself.
Awesome.
In a safe place.
Good. Awesome. What was your structure like for most of the days in the beginning of Under His Wings?
So we would usually, first thing we did was have breakfast together. And that was kind of new to me because we didn't really have breakfast in my home with my dad and my sister. mornings were kind of go, 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 get ready for school, get on the bus, and then we would have breakfast at school. But having breakfast like with the house mom and the other girls was it was a good change for me.
Awesome.
And it was nice having that kind of communion, I guess.
Good way to start your mornings. Just sit down,
Yeah.
have breakfast. What would you do after you had breakfast?
We would go into the living room and sing a couple worship songs and have a Bible study or a devotional to kind of set our day on a good track. And it was during the summer when I first got there. So after that, we kind of had free reign to do a little bit of whatever we wanted. So I would go outside and, pet the cows. And, the house dad had installed some rope swings for us, and they're still there. So he put up some rope swings for us, and we would swing on those and just kind of hang out outside and just kind of get a lot of fresh air. It was really good.
Yeah, the ropes are still there because at the alumni retreat, you and some of your Under His Wings sisters went outside and you swung on them for a little bit. It was in the room.
Good.
Yeah, that was really fun. Where did you go to school? I think at this time, you guys, were you still involved in public school? Were you still going to public school and then coming home?
So when I started my first year of school at Under His Wings, I was going into the 10th grade. I did online school for that.
Okay.
And then 11th and 12th grade, I went to Central Christian School there in Robertsdale.
Okay, awesome. That's great. I'm actually still learning about the beginning of the program because I was not involved in that. And so hearing you guys talk about your stories and what it was like is giving me new, fresh perspective. So you were the first with 3 girls. What was it like when other girls would come into the home as well?
Oh, it was so exciting. I always really enjoyed meeting the new girls and their families and giving them a tour of the house and introducing them to everyone. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And as they got settled in, we started learning about them. They would learn about us. We'd share stories, and we realized, oh, hey, we're all from Baldwin County or Mobile County. We know these people. We know them too. So it's fun seeing where we could make connections with each other. And then I got to the point where as we got along as sisters, we started fighting like sisters. So there were, just arguments all the time over the tiniest things like, hey, she's taking too long in the bathroom, or she took the last of the cereal that I like, or whatever it was. But we, for the most part, we got along.
Would you say that you have a strong bond of sisterhood with some of those girls there?
Oh, absolutely. Some of them I'm really close with. I've lost contact with a couple of them, but I'm still in touch with probably 5 or 6 of my sisters. And it's really great hearing how their lives are today. Some of them have kids. Some of them are in college or working. Some have just bought a new home. And so it's just really great keeping up with them.
That's great. I love to hear that you guys are keeping in touch and still staying sisters, even if you did fight, which I have an older sister, so I totally get that. We love each other, but we can fight like sisters as well.
Sure.
So when did you graduate? How old were you when you graduated? And what was it like to transition from the Under His Wings home into the new season of life that you were beginning?
Yeah, so I graduated from the home March of 2016. So in a couple weeks, it'll be 10 years since I've left.
Wow.
Yes. Transitioning was pretty straightforward. I moved in with the woman who I consider my foster mom, and I lived with her for about 2.5 years. And while I was with her, I went to community college. I worked. Kind of figured out what I wanted to do with my life, and I'm still figuring that out, but I'm getting closer each day. Got my associate's degree in 2020. That's when I graduated with that. And now I'm just working on finishing my bachelor's right now.
That's a really exciting season of life for you because you tentatively should be graduating this semester, Lord willing, and we're all really excited for that.
Thank you.
We're here to celebrate your wins for sure. But what are you graduating in, and then what are you hoping to do with that?
So I'm getting my degree in social work, and my time at Under His Wings really fueled and encouraged that passion to just help people and work with people. And I've kind of gone back and forth with what I want to do with social work. Like it started out wanting to work with veterans, and then Then it blended into wanting to work in foster care and with families. And now I'm kind of looking more at working in more concrete services and helping connect people with resources. And social work is incredibly broad, and there's not much that you can't do. So I'm excited to see where I get to go in life with my degree.
Yes, there's several avenues that you can take, and that's amazing. It's amazing to me that you are now wanting to help other people through social work when you kind of came from that a little bit under his wings. Can you speak to a little bit about how, if at all, Under His Wings inspired you to maybe go into social work a little bit?
Yeah, just the number of volunteers and tutors and just people that wanted to love on us, just those people showed us so much love and commitment to helping our time there be easier. Just kind of encouraged me to want to, I guess, engage more with people myself and help make people's lives easier in any way that I could.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So when I first met you, it was at our alumni retreat back at the original home. Was that alumni retreat, would you say, maybe redemptive a little bit, or encouraging for you to see your Under His Wing sisters again and reconnect in such an intimate way at that original house?
Oh gosh, yes. It brought back so many memories. Playing in the hay bales. We would jump across the hay bales. It was fun seeing those, the rope swings, just being with my sisters again. Brought back a lot of really great memories and some that were not so great. Just reminiscing on the times like when I accidentally put a hole in one of the walls, or when I got in a fight with one of my sisters over putting a puzzle together and threw glue at her, just, it was good. It was good.
Awesome. We are hoping to do more of those, and we are hoping to still continue to grow the Alumni League and connect you with each other, even with some alumni that you may not have met yet because they came after. Like, we still want you to meet them and pour into each other and connect, because that seems to be a really important thing in y'all's lives, because you guys are all sisters, even if you don't know each other. It'd be great to reconnect. But also on that same note, at the Alumni League, Arcelia and I shared and we discussed kind of some of the changes that we've made Under His Wings in our programs and how we do things from now to when you first started. And that's just part of the culture. We're always growing. We're always making sure that we're where we need to be. And you guys offered some great feedback. Would you mind sharing like what part of the changes that we've made that really resonated with you?
Yeah, the biggest thing is, when interviewing the young ladies that come into Courage Home, one thing that stuck out to me that Miss Arcelia said was that she gives them the option to decide whether or not they want to come to the Courage Home. And to me, I think is a huge step forward, because I didn't have that option. And that was one of the reasons I did struggle being there for a while. But having that option, I think, is great for these young ladies so that they know their voice matters. Even in the very beginning, what they want matters. And if they don't feel that Under His Wings is right for them, they have the choice to say that. And I think that's just a really great opportunity that these young ladies have.
Yes, that's very important for us when we're interviewing the young ladies, also because we can't help those who don't want to be helped. And so while we're very thankful that we've still been able to make an impact in your life, even in the beginning stages, do you think that not having gone to Under His Wings would have impacted your life in a negative way?
I think in some areas it would have. I really learned a lot about myself, how to control my anger. I had a lot of anger issues that I kind of got from watching my dad for, the years that I lived with him. So I was angry a lot. And being at Under His Wings helped me kind of learn how to manage my anger and channel it in healthy ways.
Awesome. And you get a family.
Yeah, it's great.
I guess to close, and my final question is, do you have any encouragement to give any future or current residents, now we call it Courage Home, who may be listening to this?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've got two things. One is embracing the strengths that others notice in the young ladies there. If they see something like, hey, you're really good at this, like, hang on to that, because that you never know how that's going to impact your life in the future and how it's going to help you become like the best version of yourself. And the second one is for the young ladies who do come in through Courage Home. Learn to understand and embrace the emotions and feelings that you'll experience when you get there, because it's going to be really difficult coming away from your family. And understanding how you feel about that, and again, channeling that in a healthy way, is really going to make your time there easier.
Awesome. Were there anything, I know I said this is the final question, but was there anything that people at Under His Wings told you specifically that they saw in you, that you wish you had held on to, like you gave encouragement towards?
Yeah, they saw a lot of leadership abilities, and I've been told several times that I have the heart of King David, which I sometimes I take in a good way and a bad way, but I've held on to that for a really long time, and I work on that with myself every day, thinking like, how can I be a leader today? How can I be a leader for my classmates at school or for my friends who, are struggling? How can I encourage them? How can I be there for them?
That's incredible. And that's a perfect way to end our interview. So thank you, Annie, for coming on. Thank you for being one of the first girls at Courage Home, and then also being one of the first girls that we're interviewing. I think that's just such a connection. And I've really enjoyed getting to know you. And I know a little tidbit that other people on the podcast may listen to. This podcast, as I'm interviewing her, was supposed to happen about an hour and a half ago, but we've had so many audio issues just trying to get it together. I feel like Annie has walked with me through my own frustrations and anger as I've been trying to get this to work. But thank you for bearing with me through that, Annie, and thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, this has been amazing, and we hope that this encourages you guys to listen and love this week.
This episode of Listen and Love was made possible by supporters of Under His Wings, a nonprofit dedicated to the personal and professional development of young women. Show your support today by leaving a review, comment, or by liking and subscribing wherever you're watching and listening. Thank you to all the volunteers who made this episode possible. In-studio producer, Peter Gardner. Audio engineer and music, Luke Killam. Executive producer, Kimberly Cherist. To learn more, support the mission, or share your story, visit us at underhiswingsgulfcoast.org.